When most people think of the world's wealthiest individuals, names like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bernard Arnault, and Warren Buffett immediately come to mind. Their fortunes are regularly broadcast across Forbes, Bloomberg, and other financial media, giving the impression that billionaire rankings are comprehensive and transparent. However, the reality is quite different. Some of the richest people on the planet are almost entirely invisible to the public eye. Their wealth is deliberately hidden, tied up in private companies, family trusts, or industrial empires, and their influence often eclipses that of more famous billionaires. These individuals are masters of discretion, ensuring that their fortunes remain shielded from both media scrutiny and public curiosity. One such figure is Klaus Michael Kane, a German businessman whose wealth is estimated at between $35 and $40 billion. Few outside logistics circles have heard of him, yet he is one of Europe's wealthiest individuals. Kane is the majority owner of Kane plus Nagel, one of the largest logistics and freight forwarding companies in the world. His company manages millions of shipments every year, serving industries ranging from pharmaceuticals to automotive manufacturing. Logistics, unlike tech or consumer brands, does not capture headlines, but it is extraordinarily profitable. Beyond his stake in K plus Nagel, Klaus Michael Kane owns investments in ports, shipping companies, and real estate, further diversifying his fortune. He lives quietly in Switzerland and rarely grants interviews, cultivating a level of privacy that keeps him off mainstream rich lists despite his vast wealth. Equally impressive, yet equally obscure, is Gianluigi Aponte, the Italian-Swiss founder of the Mediterranean Shipping Company, or Maersk. Today, Maersk is the largest container shipping company in the world, surpassing even Maersk in fleet size. Aponte has built an empire by quietly dominating global maritime transport. His wealth comes entirely from his privately held company, which owns hundreds of ships, controls multiple ports, and operates a global logistics network. Maersk is not publicly traded, and it does not disclose detailed financial statements, meaning that analysts and journalists cannot accurately gauge Aponte's fortune. Unlike the volatile fortunes of tech entrepreneurs tied to stock prices, Aponte's wealth has grown steadily over decades. His decision to maintain Maersk as a private family business allows him to control one of the largest shipping empires in the world without attracting public attention. Reinhold Reth, the German industrialist, provides another example of massive but invisible wealth. His company, the Reth Group, is the world's largest supplier of screws, bolts, and assembly materials, serving factories across the globe. Few people realize that the company touches almost every major manufacturer in some way, yet it operates entirely in business-to-business markets, and is largely unknown to the general public. Reth's wealth stems from decades of quietly expanding his company, which operates in more than 80 countries. Like Kane and Aponte, Reth has deliberately maintained private ownership, allowing him to accumulate enormous wealth without media attention. In his case, the boring nature of the industry, industrial fasteners, is precisely what has allowed his fortune to grow largely unnoticed. In the world of finance, Stanley Druckenmiller is a similarly understated figure, an American investor with a career spanning decades. Druckenmiller is widely regarded as one of the most successful investors in modern history. He famously worked alongside George Soros in the early 1990s, helping execute the trade that broke the Bank of England, earning over $1 billion in a single year. Yet Druckenmiller has chosen a life largely free from the media spotlight. After closing his hedge fund, he now manages his wealth through a family office, a private investment vehicle that allows him to operate outside the reporting requirements imposed on larger funds. Through a combination of private equity, hedge fund investments, and real estate, Druckenmiller continues to grow his fortune quietly. Because family offices are not required to disclose their holdings, much of his wealth remains invisible to rich lists, despite his extraordinary track record in investing. Finally, the Mateschitz family of Austria, heirs to the Red Bull empire, illustrates how private ownership can obscure immense wealth. Dietrich Mateschitz, the co-founder of Red Bull, passed away in 2022, leaving the family in control of a global energy drink brand recognized around the world. Red Bull sells billions of cans annually, sponsors high-profile sports teams, and has become a cultural phenomenon. Yet the company is privately held, and the family manages its wealth through trusts and foundations. Financial details are not disclosed publicly, making it difficult for analysts to estimate the family's true fortune. Beyond the beverage business, the family family has invested heavily in sports, aviation, and real estate, further expanding their influence. Despite the brand's global recognition, the Richest family remains largely invisible in discussions of billionaire rankings. What ties these individuals together is not just extraordinary wealth, but the deliberate structures that make it nearly impossible to measure. Mainstream rich lists rely heavily on public stock holdings, reported assets, and regulatory filings. Individuals who own 100% of private companies, control wealth through family offices, or operate in sectors that do not attract media attention are often omitted entirely. For every publicly celebrated billionaire, there exists a shadow economy of wealth quietly controlled by people who rarely give interviews, attend conferences, or pose for photographs. Privacy is a central theme in the lives of these invisible billionaires. Many choose to avoid public attention for reasons that go beyond modesty. High-profile wealth attracts scrutiny from regulators, media, and opportunistic individuals. By remaining discreet, these individuals protect themselves and their families. Private ownership also allows for greater control. Whereas public company executives must answer to shareholders and navigate stock market volatility, private owners can make long-term decisions that optimize both profit and stability. In many cases, this discretion creates more durable wealth than visibility could. Another factor is the nature of the industries they operate in. Logistics, shipping, industrial manufacturing, and family investment offices are not sectors that generate viral media coverage. They are sectors built on consistency, scale, and operational efficiency. These industries allow fortunes to accumulate quietly, compounding over decades without attracting headlines. As a result, wealth that may rival or even exceed that of the most famous tech entrepreneurs often goes unnoticed by the general public. Family dynasties play a significant role in obscuring wealth. By using trusts, foundations, and cross-border corporate structures, wealthy families can maintain ownership across generations without disclosing individual net worth. These structures not only protect the family's privacy, but also ensure that wealth remains insulated from taxes, market fluctuations, and legal disputes. For outsiders attempting to assess global wealth, these arrangements create significant opacity. Despite their invisibility, the influence of these billionaires is profound. Klaus Michael Kane controls global shipping logistics that move essential goods across continents. Gianluigi Aponte oversees the largest private shipping company on Earth, affecting trade flows worldwide. Reinhold Reth supplies the industrial backbone of countless manufacturers. Stanley Druckenmiller has shaped global markets through decades of private investing. The Richest family controls a brand whose marketing and cultural reach extends far beyond beverages. These individuals may not appear on television screens or in viral social media posts, but their impact on the global economy is undeniable. In many ways, these invisible billionaires reveal a deeper truth about wealth in the modern world. Visibility is not a requirement for influence. The public often equates fame with fortune, yet some of the richest individuals thrive precisely because they avoid the spotlight. Their wealth is deliberately structured to remain private, compounding quietly through strategic investments, industrial empires, and family-controlled enterprises. In doing so, they achieve both financial power and personal security, a combination that eludes even the most high-profile tech entrepreneurs. The lives of Klaus Michael Kane, Gianluigi Aponte, Reinhold Reth, Stanley Druckenmiller, and the Richest family provide a window into this hidden world of wealth. They demonstrate that the richest people are not always the ones who dominate headlines or appear on annual billionaire rankings. Instead, they are often those who operate quietly, using privacy, discretion, and long-term strategic planning to maintain control over fortunes that most of the world can only speculate about. Ultimately, the invisible billionaires challenge the conventional narrative of wealth. They show that true financial power does not always require publicity, glamour, or fame. Sometimes, the greatest fortunes exist in the shadows, growing steadily and influencing the world without ever announcing themselves. In the end, wealth, like influence, is not measured by visibility, but by the ability to shape outcomes on a global scale. For every well-known billionaire, there may be several more whose names we have never heard, yet whose impact is far greater than most people realize. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.